Our next value is probably my favorite value. Integrity is what it is. Integrity values doing the right thing the right way every time. It displays an honesty of who you are when no one else is looking. Okay? And how do we do that though? And that's the struggle when it comes to integrity. It's what kind of person are you when no one else is looking? It speaks to when you're on shift, are you going to be the kind of person that says, hey, I'm going to do this, and you actually step into that and you do what you say you're going to do? When we're on shift and you have a certain time that you're asked to show up, are you going to show up on the time that you're supposed to show up? You're the professional, but when you show up on your shift, you show up in your gear the way you're supposed to show up. Your attire is the way it's supposed to be. You look the way you're supposed to, you're wearing what you're supposed to wear, all of those things. Now let's think about integrity on shift, because that's the hard part of this. When you step into your shift and you step into actually be a team member, think about all the different ways that you can show integrity on shift. For all team members, we're always challenged with the type of team members who maybe will cut corners. It's easy to be like everybody else who cuts corners. It's much more difficult to show integrity and be different and not cut those corners and show consistency and do the right thing the right way all the time. So think about the front of house. You're consistently challenged with money. Money is one of those things where if you're going to have integrity, well, when the money's right there in front of you, it's very easy for you to maybe, take $1, put it in your pocket, do something when no one else is looking. But the reality of it is, when you're a front of house team member, you've got to show integrity all the time. Back of house team member, there are many ways where you're going to be working with a team member, specifically with the quality of our chicken. We've got Chick-fil-A standards that we've got to live up to, specifically when it comes down to the time and the temperature that we hold the chicken in the back. If we pass that 20-minute mark, the expectation is that you must pull the chicken from the line. But if you're the type of team member who is cutting those corners, you're going to let that chicken sit there longer than it should. We want you to be the type of team member that pulls the chicken off the line anytime it reaches that point. Now, for me, I think about the story when I first joined Chick-fil-A. I had an operator who shared with me the story of a really famous basketball coach, John Wooden. Now, what John Wooden would do with his freshman basketball players, when they first arrived on campus, he would sit down with them and he would tell them this story. What he would say is, hey, it's really important that you learn how to put on your socks. That sounds kind of funny, but the reality of it is, he would say, if you don't put on your socks correctly, what's going to happen is you're going to get blisters on your feet. If you get blisters on your feet, then you can't run. If you can't run, well, you can't be a good basketball player. And so I really need you to learn how to put on your socks correctly. He was teaching them how to do the right thing the right way every time. That's what we want you to do as a team member at Chick-fil-A, is doing the right thing the right way every time. Show integrity. And that's what integrity is all about.